Oh, whatever. We're going into the music section because we have music things to talk about. This one? No. This one? Yes. All right. So, this is a real quick follow-up. We talked about... Actually, no, we didn't end up talking about this one. For whatever reason, it didn't make the cut. A couple of weeks ago, former bass player for one of my favorite hardcore bands, Comeback Kid, was diagnosed with ALS and has now succumbed to the ALS. Matt Keel, former bass player for Canadian melodic hardcore band Comeback Kid, has passed away following a courageous 19-month battle. Oh, I guess he was diagnosed a little while ago, but they started a GoFundMe a few weeks ago. That was the news piece. And he was a member of the band from 2008 to 2014, which is right about the time when I found them, because that's right about when they put out the Wake the Dead record. And yeah, that just sucks. So just wanted to send some good vibes out to his family. As you can see, he's survived by his wife and 2 children. So sad news there. But let's get away from the sad news and let's talk about something cooler. And that would be this right here. Snot band kind of grew in crazy popularity in the early days of the nu metals. Their vocalist Lynn, oh good lord, I'm not going to remember his last name, died, and they put out the one record and then kind of didn't really do anything. And then their guitar player played with Limp Bizkit for a hot second when Wes Borland quit, and now they are apparently recording new music with a new vocalist. Reactivated Santa Barbara-based metal punk rock hybrid Snot has entered Dead End Studios in Palm Desert, California, with producer, engineer, and mixer Chris Collier to lay down tracks for 2 brand new songs, which are set to be released late 2025 or early 2026. On Sunday, July 13th, Snot guitarist Mike Doling, not the guitarist that played with Limp Bizkit. Actually, I don't think the guy who played with Limp Bizkit is in Snot anymore, but Mike Doling shared a video message in which he said about the band's current recording activities as transcribed by Blabbermouth, because that's where the news comes from. Yesterday, we tracked Jamie Miller on drums on 2 new songs, and we grabbed the bass on 2 new songs. I had previously already tracked most of my guitar on those songs. Oh yeah, and then I did some overdubs yesterday and some guitar solo stuff and stuff like that. And Andy Knapp was down hanging out, our singer, hanging out in the studio yesterday. It's really cool vibes. We're working with Chris Collier. He's just my brother, is amazing producer. It's just awesome to work with him. He really pulls it out of us, and I appreciate that, Chris. And the studio, Dead End Studios, owned by one of my best friends, Brad Garrow. We're up there working, and I'm just so happy, blah, blah, blah. So pretty awesome. Snot is back in the studio, putting out some new stuff. Pretty interested to see what happens. Actually, I take that back. Is that right? I might be mistaking. There we go. Yeah, okay. I'm not losing my mind. Snot will play, blah, blah, blah. Snot disbanded in 98 following Lynn Straight. That's his name. Straight's death, putting to an end career generated considerable promise, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. So I'm not losing my mind. They recruited Carl Bensley to sing for the band following departure of Tommy Vext. Tommy Vext, who also used to sing for Bad Wolves and also Divine Heresy. So this is not the first time they've replaced Lynn. However, this is, I believe, the first time they've really put out new music. But again, hasn't really been on my radar for some time. So maybe I'm wrong. Either way, pretty awesome. Moving on. Our next piece, staying in music. Let's talk. Well, this is another follow-up. We'll talk about this real quick. We'll try and make these all pretty quick little jaunts through the music section, since usually live stream doesn't do super great when we talk music. But Vimic, which was one of the bands that Joey Jordison was playing with before he died, they have recruited Crypta drummer Luana D'Amatteo for a reunion show. Vimic has recruited, again, Luana D'Amatteo Demito? Sure. To sit behind the kit for upcoming event reuniting the surviving members of the band and honoring Joey Jordison. Taking place in LA on October 3rd at Terragram Ballroom, the Joey Jordison Charitable Fund presented concert will not only honor Jordison's memory, but also celebrate the release of the long-awaited Vimic album. Vimic will be supported by Wednesday 13. Of course they will, because Wednesday was one of Joey's biggest fans and collaborators, so that makes sense. Along with some other very special guests. Vimic said, "We're excited to announce that Luana D'Amatio will be joining us as special guest drummer for Vimic show on October 3rd in LA. Luana is an incredible talent with power, precision, and passion behind the kit, and we're absolutely thrilled to have her sit in for this unforgettable night, honoring Joey Jordison and the release of Open Your Omen." And then it goes into a little bit of who Luana is. She started playing when she was 12. Stated about Joey's influence on her playing. "Joey was my first drum idol. And so at the very beginning, he was my only reference. And and what a great reference I've picked. No kidding. From his blast beating style and his relentless double bass just show how creative his fills and grooves can be. He shaped entirely how I think about the drums." That's pretty awesome. That's pretty dang cool. So yeah, real quick on that one as well. Vimic has decided they're actually going to release that record, and that is always a good thing. New music is great, especially when it was related to Joey. Another quick follow-up piece with Ozzy Osbourne's retirement. We now have the release of his newest memoir, Last Rites. Real quick, October 7th is when it's going to be out. This is probably the last and most definitive version of the Ozzy Osbourne memoir. I don't know how much of this was him, though. Let's see if it mentions it in here. Raw memoir from Ozzy. Last Rites is a shocking, bitterly hilarious, never-before-told story of Osbourne's descent into hell related to his health issues over the course of the last 7 years. Oh, so this is just covering the last 7 years of his life. That's interesting. Along the way, he reflects an extraordinary life and career, including his turbulent marriage to wife Sharon. His encounters with fellow Hellraisers include Slash, Bon Scott, John Bonham, Keith Moon, harrowing final moments he spent with Motorhead's Lemmy Kilmister, all alongside his reflections on triumphant Back to the Beginning concerts streamed around the world, where Ozzy reunited with his Black Sabbath bandmates for the final time and raised millions for charity. Along that note, this past week's suggestion in the music section was to go check out those performances. If you did not do that, they have all been pulled from YouTube. Sad to say, but it is true. All of them are no longer available. So you just got to wait for the DVD to come out, because you know they're going to release a DVD. But yeah, Ozzy's releasing behind the scenes, effectively, of his health decline over the course of the last few years. That's a lot cooler, because it leads into the positive of Back to the Beginnings, but still kind of sad. Let's continue on. We only have a couple more here in music, and they're all going to be pretty quick. This one is Hopeless Records and Fat Records announce a landmark partnership. So Fat Records, if you don't know, is the record company started by this man right here, Fat Mike from NoFX. What does the article have to say? Let's get into it. Hopeless and Fat Records have announced a joint effort that unites two of punk's most influential independent labels in a full circle moment more than 3 decades in the making. The alliance reflects both labels' artist-first ethos and deep roots in the punk community. So it doesn't sound so much as a partnership, more of a joining. Part of the partnership, Hopeless is acquiring the Fat Records catalog, but just as important is what's being left behind. In a move guided by Fat Mike and Aaron's long-held artist-first philosophy, all unrecouped balances for current signed Fat artists will be zeroed out. No strings, no fine print, just a clean slate for every signed band that's helped shape. Oh, that's really cool. At Fat's request, Hopeless will adopt no new signings policy for Fat Records, ensuring all focus and resources stay on its existing roster. Fat Mike and Aaron. So yeah, this is Hopeless purchasing Fat Records, it seems. Fat Mike and Aaron will retain the Fat Records logo and trademark, continuing to represent the label through festivals and pop-up shops. Partnership is the result of a long-standing connection between Fat Records and Hopeless. In 1992, young music video director named Lois Posen cold-called Fat Mike to direct a video for NoFX, Bob. The two became friends when Lois began, or yeah, that's Lois, right? Lewis, sorry, began to lose his eyesight and shifted careers from film to music. Fat Mike and Aaron welcomed him into the Fat Records office, helping him learn the ropes of running independent record label. Hopeless was born the following year. Without Fat Records, there would be no Hopeless. It's the natural result of 3 decades of friendship, trust, and a shared belief in putting artists and community first. Didn't come together to grow bigger. They did it to keep punk exactly where it belongs, in the hands of the people who built it. That's a weird... So Fat Records is kind of dissolving mostly, except for you'll see the name at festivals. That, I don't know how I feel about that, but okay. We got a little bit of touring news next. And we'll talk about some singles. Yep, that sounds pretty appropriate to finish this off. Let's do this. So, Baroness has announced they're going to be continuing the Red and Blue tour. Baroness recently wrapped up a sold-out East Coast tour featuring intimate performances of the band's seminal Red album and Blue record in their entirety. The band now brings the tour to Western North America with a newly announced slate of fall dates. If you are unfamiliar, Baroness is a really good entry point if for somebody who's not like super embedded into like the metal community. Technically they're doom metal, I want to say. Maybe stoner would be. But they're fantastic. I've seen Baroness about a half a dozen times throughout the years, and just every time they do not fail to put on a great show. Even if it is a super simple bare bones show, it is still a great show. So continuing with the article, West Coast, we're bringing the Red and Blue tour in your direction this September with our friends and tour mates Weed Eater. Hell yeah. Baroness vocalist guitarist John Baisley shares the first leg of the tour through the northeast. Such a blast. We knew we may have to add a second leg. Throughout the tour, we read our messages and saw all of your comments asking for it, so here it is. Red and Blue Part 2. We can't wait to see you again. We'll be playing through the entirety of both records. Get yourselves ready for 90-plus minutes of intense rock music. From the psychedelic-laden Isaac to the ethereal melodies of The Sweetest Curse, these special evenings offer fans a rare chance to see Savannah-born outfit performing songs that are seldom performed live. Oh, they have... Oh, yeah. You told me this, didn't you? The Baroness 2 dates at the Marquee. Yeah. So, starting in Denver, they have 2 dates in September 5th and 6th. Then we go through Salt Lake and all the way down to Albuquerque. They do spend a little bit of time on the coast. A little bit. They spend about a third of the time on the coast. Portland, half the time, I guess I should say. They go up to Vancouver for a second. So that's pretty awesome. No Weed Eater on one date, and that is Fresno, California at Strummers. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Link will probably be available sometime since there's not a link here in the article, and I don't want to go to the band's website right now, but look at that artwork. Isn't that just pretty freaking awesome? Anyway, that is our second to last. Let's get our last piece here real quick because this one's going to be a little fun. Oh, come on. Copy-paste is fighting me right now. Nope. Copy-paste is still fighting me. What the hell? Copy. Oh no. Paste. There we go. So, according to Blabbermouth, nope, that's not right. Not Blabbermouth. According to Metal Injection. Why did it try to take me to somewhere on Blabbermouth? According to Metal Injection, these are the top tracks for the week. Let's see how many of these we've heard. Born of Osiris, Through Shadows. So, legitimately have not really liked the last 2 Born of Osiris records. This new track off of what I'm assuming is a new... Oh, no. Yeah, is a brand new record. Is some of the best Born of Osiris music I've heard in like 3 records. So definitely go check this one out. It is going to be more of the melodic stuff that most of their old school fans don't care for as much, but it it's working much better than the last record was. Calva Louise, Edge of the Abyss. This one I have not heard. Alternative metal from Manchester, England. Interesting. This band really rad, according to Metal Injection, which I trust Metal Injection's opinion. They're an alternative metal band with big choruses and heavy grooves. When they veer from that is when they really shine through. They dabble in Latin American folk, electronic, deathcore, and more. Oh, that sounds super interesting. I'm going to have to go check this one out after, because we don't listen, because we're live. We're not listening to music on the live stream. Enter Shikari, live at Wembley. That looks nuts. Metalcore, electronic. I feel like every band from the UK ultimately wants to play Wembley, and when they do, they go all out for the live release. Muse did it, Biffy Clearo, I don't know who that is, and Enter Shikari did it. They play a little something from all their albums. It's a must for fans. Sure. Hell, I have not heard this track, but I have heard Hell. Name of the song is Submerses, Blackened Doom. Doom is just kind of a fun subgenre. It's kind of got the best of a lot of different subgenres, and it's easily digestible. Blackened version of that, though, is going to be less on the digestible side. It's going to be a lot more of those really harsh vocals, really subpar production. So just kind of keep that in mind. But Hell is a pretty decent band, so I would say this is probably worth a listen. Impuriza. Alcazares. Sure. Origin, Orleans. In France. Ew. Flamenco death metal. What the hell? Just based on that alone, I would say go listen to that one. In the Company of Serpents. Again, heard the band. I don't know that I've heard the song yet, though. Sludge Doom. Sludge is just like the slower stoner brother of Doom. It's kind of got a lot of elements of Sabbath. So if you like the slower, more doomy elements of Sabbath, you'll probably like Sludge stuff. And in the Company of Serpents, I don't remember disliking, so there's that. I don't know. Honorable mentions: Angerat, Celestial Wizard, Chronos Compulsion, Dead Seven, Death Rattle, Decadence Incarnate. That one's actually a pretty decent track if you like melodic death. Diamond Head has live. Yes, that is pretty freaking awesome. Disembodiment, Double Vision, Embers of Ouroboros. This actually I have heard. Horror, pain, gore, death productions. It's black metal. It is a little nuts. It is kind of on the much more extreme side of things, but if you're into that, then this is a pretty decent. I think I've only heard one track, because I think this is the album title, not the track title, but I could be wrong. From Warriors, Girl School. Girl School got really big there for a little while back, but I never understood why. They apparently have a new record out, so sure. Laguna, Madhouse, Philosophia, Pygmula, Sheev. Yeah, nothing else on here that's really striking my fancy. So, done with... Where are we? Done with music. Let's get into... What else do we have? I know I took notes for this. Gaming. We have a little bit of everything except for no rumors to speak of. So, yeah, next up is gaming and tech. Let's do the fancy thing.